The colony frontier was never quiet. Machines roared, dust flew across the plains, and settlers worked dawn to dusk just to keep the outpost alive. Ethan Cole wiped sweat from his brow, squinting against the twin suns of Karath IV. He had come here with dreams of building something lasting, far from Earth's overcrowded stations, but keeping a farm running alone was wearing him down. His homestead sprawled across acres of red soil, crops pushing stubbornly against the alien ground, but his labor was stretched too thin. He needed help. That was when she arrived. Her name was Lyra. She stood at the edge of his farm one morning, cloaked against the dust, her tall frame casting a long shadow. Her skin shimmered faintly with silver undertones, the mark of the Ilari, a species known for grace, music, and tradition. But her eyes carried sorrow, deep and endless. "I heard you were hiring," she said quietly. Her accent was melodic, her words careful. Ethan nodded, surprised. "I am. Most don't want farm work, though. It's hard labor." "I am not most," she answered simply. Only later did he learn she was a widow. Her mate had died in the skirmishes that had scarred this sector years ago, leaving her with nothing but memories and silence. Other settlers avoided her. Widows were often pitied, but never embraced. Ethan, though, only saw a woman who needed a chance. "You can start tomorrow," he said. At first, their days were all work. Lyra moved with quiet efficiency, her hands steady, her strength surprising. She tended the crops with patience, carried water without complaint, and mended tools with skill she must have learned long ago. She spoke little, but her presence changed the rhythm of the farm. Ethan found himself watching her when she thought he wasn't looking. The way her silver-marked skin caught the dusk light. The way her voice softened when she hummed to herself while planting. But she kept her distance. One evening, as the sun set and painted the sky crimson, Ethan offered her a seat by the fire. She hesitated, then joined him. For a long while, they sat in silence until Ethan asked, "Do you miss him?" Her eyes glistened. "Every day." Ethan nodded. "I lost people too. Doesn't get easier. But maybe we learn to carry it." She looked at him, then really looked, and something shifted in her gaze. Weeks turned into months. Lyra began cooking meals in the evenings, her dishes simple but seasoned with herbs Ethan had never thought to use. He found himself laughing more, the farm no longer a lonely battle but a shared life. Still, whispers spread in the settlement. A human and an Ilari widow, working side by side? Some muttered it was improper, others that it was doomed. But Ethan didn't care. One stormy night, lightning tearing across the plains, Lyra nearly collapsed from exhaustion. She had worked too long in the fields. Ethan caught her as she swayed, guiding her inside. "You push yourself too hard," he scolded gently. Her lips trembled. "I do not want to be a burden." "You're not," he said firmly. "You never were." She stared at him, her silver-lit eyes wide, and for the first time, she let herself rest in his arms. The bond grew slowly, like roots weaving beneath soil. Ethan never pressed, never asked for more than she could give. But one evening, as they shared bread and stew, Lyra reached across the table and brushed her hand over his. "I thought my life ended when his did," she whispered. "But with you, I feel it beginning again." Ethan's chest ached with emotion. He covered her hand with his own. "Then let's begin together." From that night onward, they were no longer just farmer and helper. They were something more, two souls, scarred by loss, daring to heal side by side. Time passed. Seasons changed. The farm flourished as their lives intertwined. And then came the day everything shifted. Lyra stood before him, her hands trembling, her eyes filled with both fear and wonder. "Ethan?" I carry your child. His breath caught. For a moment, the weight of it nearly knocked him to his knees. A child, half human, half Ilari. A future neither of them had ever imagined. Are you afraid? He asked softly. Yes, she admitted. Her voice shook. But also, I feel hope again. For the first time in so long. Ethan cupped her face in his calloused hands. Then we'll face it together. Always. The colony whispered louder after that. Some frowned, some scoffed, some even accused Ethan of betraying his own kind. But when he looked at Lyra, her hand resting over the life growing inside her, he knew the whispers didn't matter. They married quietly beneath the open sky, no priests or ceremonies, only a promise spoken between two hearts, to build, to endure, to love. The farm became more than survival. It became home. Years later, children played among the rows of crops, laughter ringing through the air. Ethan and Lyra watched together, her silver-marked skin glowing in the sunlight, his arm wrapped firmly around her. She was no longer just a widow. He was no longer just a lonely farmer. Together, they had defied the stares, the whispers, the doubts. Together, they had built a family. And when their first child was born, tiny fingers wrapping around Ethan's hand, Lyra whispered through tears, I never thought I would live again. But you gave me more than life. You gave me love. Ethan kissed her gently, his voice steady. And you gave me a reason to fight, every day. On Karath IV, settlers told stories for generations of the human farmer and the alien widow. Not because it was scandalous, but because it was proof. Proof that in the vast emptiness of the galaxy, where war and grief often crushed hearts, humanity's stubborn kindness and courage could grow something new. Something greater than survival. Something called family.